Leclerc blasts Ferrari for poor decision. If there is one team that struggled a lot throughout the season when it comes to the decision-making part, that has to be Ferrari. The Maranello team hasn't been able to get on top of their own tactics, and it seems like they had another miscommunication during the Brazilian GP this year. Nevertheless, Leclerc managed to finish P4 after being dead last after crashing into the wall, the outcome of him touching wheels with Norris. Still, he wasn't happy with this decision and felt like he deserved much more from the team. That is why he publicly spoke about the team's actions in the closing stages of the race, as it was one rollercoaster weekend for him, that's for sure. Charles Leclerc has been let down constantly by his team, and it seems like Ferrari just cannot utilize the Monegasque talent to the fullest and make him a proper championship candidate. This year, we've seen Leclerc being left as a sitting duck in Silverstone and being a victim of his team's tactics in Monaco, where on both occasions, Leclerc fell from P1 to P4 just because his team made poor decisions. On top of that, he wanted to take 1 point away from Max during Spa, but ended up losing 2 due to the fact that he got passed by Alonso and was handed a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. All of these tactic calls made Ferrari the laughingstock of Formula 1 in 2022, and in Brazil, it wasn't anything different either. For example, because of the rain on the track, Leclerc was the only one who raced on intermediate tyres throughout the sprint race. However, the rain was minimal and no other drivers were using the intermediate tyres. By the time the team realized this, Leclerc had already passed the pit stop entrance and he said, "Beautiful, effing beautiful," quoting Verstappen from the COTA when he had a long pit stop. It's safe to say that Leclerc was dissatisfied with how the situation unfolded because Russell banked his car into the gravel and the rain intensified to the point where the qualifying sessions couldn't even continue, forcing Leclerc to settle for P10. Leclerc spoke about the qualifying session and the intermediate tyre blunder of his team, adding, "We were expecting some rain. It never came. I will speak with the team and try to see what we can do better in those conditions." Extremely disappointed, the pace was there. We still have the car, but now we need to get on it and do everything good for the rest of the weekend. I accepted the decision to go on Inters, and then I just waited for the rain that never came. The sprint race was a productive one for the Monegasque, as he was able to climb 4 positions and start the main race event on P6. With that said, it's clear that he felt he could push a lot further ahead and gain more positions, but the accident with Norris left him back on the grid, hoping for more safety cars to get closer to the field. And rest assured that Leclerc pushed his way through and was able to obtain many positions, even when his car wasn't feeling the best for him. Regardless, the Monegasque finished P4, and it was his team's decision to not move his teammate ahead of him, just so that he could get his spot, that really grinded Leclerc's gears. According to Leclerc, he and the team discussed and agreed that if the team found itself in a situation where Sainz was ahead of Leclerc, the Spaniard would let go of the Monegasque simply because the Drivers' Championship battle for P2 was still ongoing. However, it would have been a very different narrative had this happened in Mexico, when Sainz and Leclerc were running P5 and P6 respectively. Now that they were P3 and P4, with Alonso running in P5 and just a second behind Leclerc, rest assured that the situation is very dangerous and that Sainz would have immediately lost the P4 spot to Alonso too. That is why the team didn't give the order to Sainz to let go of Leclerc, and it seems like they did the right thing. Leclerc expressed his anger about the decision after the GP, adding, "I had that earlier shunt, so to finish P4 is great. I asked on the radio in the last few laps about switching positions. I was frustrated about that in the heat of the moment because we had that discussion before the race, and for some reason we changed our minds, which I don't know why. It was frustrating, and I hope that in Abu Dhabi we'll be fast enough for me to get the second place in the championship. If not, it's like this. Carlos did an incredible job, and he deserved that P3 in the podium because he did a great race. Again, if we didn't have that discussion prior to the race, I wouldn't have asked. And it was evident that Leclerc wanted that P3 spot and the podium finish desperately because he asked multiple times on the team radio for his team to please consider the championship fight at this point. However, the silence from the other side was truly deafening, and that just goes to show that the team did the right thing according to the experts. experts. It's not a regular sight to see Ferrari doing the proper thing, but when they do it, it seems like they are always bashed by someone regarding the decision. This time it was by their own driver, Charles Leclerc, who was considered a championship candidate in the first half of the season. However, many reliability issues and missed tactics, along with drivers' mistakes, are what made Leclerc fight for P2 instead of the championship. Many have already started rumors that the entire Ferrari leadership needs to be changed, and this is something that will most likely come to light because Maranello is not happy with how Binotto has been leading the team this season. Aside from reliability issues, the team struggles with tactics and relies too heavily on their drivers, despite having specialized staff in the pit wall who are supposed to do their jobs. The Ferrari team always seems to find a way to make things more difficult for Sainz and Leclerc, which is something that a championship team should not have in their ranks. Mattia Binotto spoke about the decision to keep Sainz ahead of Leclerc and not allow the Monegasque to gather 3 more points in the championship fight with Perez for P2, labeling the move as a dangerous one. First, swapping the 2 cars on the last lap was certainly tricky because Charles had Fernando and Verstappen just behind. We knew that we were under investigation for what happened behind the safety car with Tsunoda. We were cleared by race control at the time, so we were quite comfortable. But without having a conclusion on the matter, it would have been risky to swap the cars. Because a 5-second penalty, for example, would then mean that Carlos would have lost more than 1 position. So for the Constructors' Championship, it was certainly better to stick with the positions and gaps on track. As of now, Ferrari has only a 19-point advantage over Mercedes, and had the W13 been this competitive in the first half of the season, rest assured that Ferrari would have a very hard time accommodating the sheer speed of the Brackley-based team. Nevertheless, reports are saying that Binotto's time in the Maranello team is over and that he should look for his own solutions that aren't involving Ferrari. However, the team spoke about this matter, addressing the rumors of a possible departure, adding that the rumors about Binotto being replaced by Vasseur, who is currently a team principal in Alfa Romeo, are completely without foundation. In relation to speculation in certain media regarding Scuderia Ferrari team principal Mattia Binotto's position, Ferrari states that these rumors are totally without foundation. Vasseur's name has been relevant and linked to Ferrari due to the fact that he was the principal of Alfa when Leclerc drove there in 2018, and both of them are now enjoying a very close relationship. Vasseur was also responsible for Leclerc's successful rookie campaign, one that enabled him to jump in the Ferrari senior team from 2019 onwards. However, this isn't the first time that Binotto's been related to being sacked from the team that he joined as a team principal from 2019 onwards, and that is something that many Ferrari fans would like to see happening. With that being said, it's evidence that Leclerc and Sainz could have a new leadership from 2023, someone that would likely make Leclerc happy, and he wouldn't have to worry about constantly being screwed over the tactics chosen by the experts in his team. What do you think about Leclerc's statements? Let us know in the comments below.